Jonathan Rosso. Let's start by taking a look at who's in my packed green room tonight. I am delighted to have my first guest on the show. He's been off our screens for a while, and I think we really missed him, but now he's back, and not a moment too soon. He's a TV presenter who really packs a punch. It is Jeremy Clarkson, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Hello, Jeremy. You see what I subtly did there? Jeremy Clarkson. And it's great to have Clarkson back. All right. Also in my green room, the biggest girl group on the planet right now. They've been the UK #1 for 3 weeks, and they're fresh from winning an MTV award last weekend. It's a shout-out to my guests, the all-conquering Little Mix. Hello, guys. Hello, Dave. Hello, Terry. Hello, Jessie. Hello, Lee. I think we've had some great comedians on the show in recent weeks, and tonight's show is no exception. He is a brilliant stand-up and a diamond geezer. The one and only Mickey Flanagan is here as well. Hello, Mickey, looking good. Mickey's back. And that's not all. Have you sensed it? Yeah. Can you feel it? Yeah. Because the ego has landed in my green room, where I hope it's being suitably stroked and massaged. He's an on-off member of our greatest ever boy band, a phenomenally successful solo performer, and just about the best pound-for-pound entertainer in the land. It's Robbie Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Robbie Williams. OK. That's a good show. Now, before we get to that, I've got to get something off my chest, because we live in strange times, don't we? I mean, it's a weird moment we're all living through. We're all recovering from a huge shock. It came out of nowhere. It's going to change lives all over the world. It's understandably caused huge upset. I'm talking, of course, about the new look Toblerone, ladies and gentlemen. They've changed it from this, which is the old one, you know, I love that one, to this. This is the new one. What the... I know, and you thought the words President Trump were hard to swallow. Personally, I find it really annoying, because I used to use the old Toblerone to comb my hair when I was young. Hopefully, we'll all wake up tomorrow and it will turn out to have been a horrible dream. Now, I like to think, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, that I've always been a stylish man. Yeah. Well, that was a slow response and muted. Not for nothing was I voted Family Circle magazine's Best Dressed Male 1989. Yeah, but I've always thought you should wear what you want, when you want, as long as you're happy, that's fine. So I was especially upset to read the results of a newspaper survey this week by what I can only refer to as the fashion police, that says people of a certain age shouldn't wear certain clothes. That's what they said. Now, among the survey's more preposterous claims was that men over 40 should not wear all pink. It even showed an example of exactly the kind of thing it meant. Robbie, any comment?
I was 39 then. OK.
Well, I think it looks fabulous and classy. The other good thing, though, Robbie, is if you're wearing that suit, you are now worth 6 points in snooker. So I would... But the worst thing that this outrageous survey claims is that no one over 53 should be wearing jeans. No denim over 53. And I don't know if anyone in the green room is affected by this. Jeremy, would this be any way have a...
I would wear these trousers more often, but they've become smaller.
But denim is a great look, especially if you're hanging around in garages or if you're hosting a popular car show, because you can look great in denim. Have a look at this guy. You see what I mean? You can look great in denim. He looks amazing, doesn't he? Girls, what do you think? Do you think men over 50 should wear denim?
Well, yeah.
I think wear what you want.
Yeah.
As long as they're not too tight.
Yes.
No, no, they've got to be tight.
Oh.
OK, well...
How else are you going to show your knob off?
Wow. Now, normally we start the show we go straight into the chat and we end it with a song, but seeing as we've got Robbie Williams here tonight, I thought, why not make the most of it? Why not start with a song and finish with a song? So you're going to get double Robbie for your money. He's in great form, of course. He's just been awarded the Brit Icon Award. He's only the 3rd artist to receive it, after Elton John and David Bowie. So let's give him a round of applause, because that's incredible. Robbie, congratulations. And you couldn't deserve it more. Here he is. He's going to perform to you right now. Please welcome Robbie Williams.
Tether your soul to me. I will never let go completely. One day our hands will be strong enough to I pray that I'm giving you all that matters. One day you'll say to me, I love my life. I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am free. I love my life. I am wonderful. I am magical. I am me. I love my life. I am not my mistakes. God knows I've made a few. I started to question the angels. The answer they gave was you. I cannot promise there won't be sadness. I wish I could take it from you. But you'll find the courage to face the madness and sing it because it's true. I love my life. I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am free. I love my life. I am wonderful. I am magical. I am me. I love my finding other with heart like yours. Run far, run free. I'm with you. I love my life. I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am free. I love my life. I am wonderful. I am magical. I am me. I love my life. I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am free. I love my life. I am wonderful. I am magical. I am me. I love my life. And finally, I'm where I wanna be.
Robbie Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Robbie Williams and his fabulous band. Oh, stick around, Robbie will be performing at the end of the show as well. For Robbie Williams. So let's get my first guest out. Love him or hate him, you can't ignore him. I happen to love him. It is the phenomenal Mr. Jeremy Clarkson, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy Clarkson. That's a good song, isn't it?
How are you?
That's one for the
I am
competition.
magical, I am brilliant, I am me.
Talk about me, Clarkson. Jeremy, good to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
I imagine you would have that on in your car when you're driving along because you like an anthem, don't you?
Well, I am magical, I am brilliant. It's about me.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's really nice to have Jeremy Clarkson back, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
So before we talk about this big new show, which looks incredible, and they've obviously thrown cash at it, the Grand Tour, it looks remarkable. Before we start talking about your TV work, let me just ask you, I know you're not normally shy of an opinion. The phenomenal, remarkable, bizarre news this week that the President of America is now business television personality Donald Trump. Your thoughts, please.
It's hilarious. It is hilarious. I know if you go on Twitter, you have to say, really, the world has taken a tragic step backwards. It isn't. It's funny. I do like chaos. I really have always enjoyed chaos. Ever since I was a small boy, I like to, push over the display of beans in the supermarket.
Right.
That sort of thing. And when you see he's become... That hair!
Yeah.
Nylon hair is now in the White House, and you just think that's properly funny. Did you see Hillary's not acceptance speech, the opposite.
Yeah, the non-acceptance speech.
Yes, I was so looking forward to that. Because I like a loser.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of... I've had much practice, but you know, at the end of a football match, they always show the winners celebrating. You think, no, I want to see the losers. I was desperate to see Hillary's, you know, I cocked it up, but she still had the same rictus grin on her face.
Yeah, well...
But no, she did, though. She wore that rictus grin. I think this was our problem. That all through the campaign, she wore the same face.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, people, I think...
I want to do it tonight.
Yeah. A, you don't look like Hillary, and B, that's the most terrifying thing I've ever put on TV by this show. OK, so, Jeremy, how long ago was it that you were disinvited from returning to Top Gear?
Yes.
Which is a nice way.
Yes, I was, yeah, NFI.
You were, yeah. Now, the situation that led to that, was it fairly reported? Did we get the full story? Were there aspects of it that you would care to share that we didn't hear before, or did that happen more or less as it was in the papers? Yeah.
What are you asking? What's the
I'm
question?
asking you, genuinely, was that a fair and accurate job of reporting the event?
It's not even somewhere I can go even if I wanted to, which I don't.
Well, oh, because legally you can't?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I didn't realise that. Well, why didn't you just say that instead of doing that weird grimace? What did you do with your time off? You had some time off. I know you went back to work fairly quickly, but did you say, OK, this is great, I can learn from things?
No.
I can grow as a person?
No.
I can change?
There was 9 minutes.
OK.
There was 9 minutes from me leaving the BBC, from Richard and James saying, actually, we'll come with you. And they were the happiest 9 minutes of my life.
Yeah.
Then in they walked.
So you felt...
and then we had to get going, and that's quite complicated.
Yeah. Well, because you couldn't just do the same show.
Well, you can't do the same show because of intellectual... What's it called?
Property.
Yeah, IP. So lawyers come. Oh, no, you can't do that. You can't have the audience standing up.
So you couldn't have the audience standing up. You can't do
James
big star
May...
in a reasonably priced
You
car.
can't do a star... You can't have the Stig. James May can't be slow and pedantic. I can't be bombastic. Hammond can't be shortened from Birmingham. Yeah. So we had to jumble everything up. So, you know, we had to start again. And we started in a tiny little office in Marylebone. And there were only 2 chairs in it, so we took it in turns to sit down, and we had a stationery cupboard, and there was a highlighter pen in it and some A4 paper, and that was it.
Right.
And we had to start. We thought, right.
So Grand Tour is called... Now, it took you a while to come up with that title.
Yeah, names were difficult. Names were incredibly difficult because every single combination of letters and numbers you can think of is already registered somewhere in the world by somebody.
So what did you reject? Which were the ones you reject? I think I have a few.
3 driving along was my favourite.
Well, I can't see why they passed on that one, but...
Well, I thought it was a really good name. It was one of our directors came up with that, because that's what it is.
Would you...
and then the Americans kept coming up with names like, well, I'll call it Wheels Power with a Z, you know. It was like, no, we can't do that. It was just impossible.
Was it called Gear... were you going to call it Gear Knobs at one stage?
There was Gear Knobs, and then there was... No, somebody came up with the idea of House of Cars, you know. And you go, yeah, OK, fine, that's quite funny now, because it's a play on that. But in 5 years' time, when nobody can remember the spacey thing, then... Nobody remembers. It's a bit like naming... I always used to name pets foolishly after double acts. So you get 2 tortoises... with
Cannon and Ball, say you?
Well, no, I had Morecambe and Wise and Bubble and Squeak.
Right, OK.
And you'd always end up with Morecambe and Squeak.
Yeah.
Because the others would die and run off. And so it didn't really work. So House of Cards, we thought, no. And then we ended up with the Grand Tour.
Yeah, yeah. But the Grand Tour is GT and Top Gear was TG. Was that deliberate?
Yes, yeah. No, I mean, it's just everyone's got, you know, conspiracy theories abound. But no, it was a pure accident.
OK.
But it is just 3 old men bickering and falling over. I mean, we should have called it Last of the Summer Wine, because that's actually what it is.
Yeah. But that's that's what makes it work, of course. There is a genuine friendship, and you look like you're having a great time. And that comes across to us.
Well, we're fuelled creatively by our dislike of one another.
OK. That's not true.
It is.
I want you to admit that you love the other 2 and that you would miss them terribly if anything happened to either of them. There's a man love there. There's a man. You might like him because you know why? Because you can't
There's
express.
no, what do you mean, oh?
Because look how much they love each other, ladies and gentlemen. And you are one of these old, backward-looking, masculine types, and you can't open up your emotions, Jeremy. And I'm here to tell you, you got to open up like a flower. You got to look at those boys, and you got to know I miss them, and I want to kiss them and hug them and smell their hair, and I want to dance with them under the moon barefoot. That's pretty much
I'm doing my Hillary face
that's
again.
a yes right there. OK, let's have a look at the Grand Tour. This, I think the young people say, drops on Amazon on November the 18th. This is what a lot of people all over the world have been waiting for, the Grand Tour.
Okay, the throne's set. Look at that thing now! Bloody Nora. James, there's no point shooting his petrol tank. Petrol only blows up in films.
The Grand Tour.
There it is.
It's going to be huge. So you must feel good about it.
It's not really like Last of the Summer Wine now, is it?
No. It's going to be great.
I mean, I'm looking forward to everybody's... Well, you've seen it now,
Yeah.
actually.
Well, we've seen clips.
Yeah, well, that's it, really.
Yeah.
All the rest of it's just James talking.
Yeah.
Well, you see, the thing is that... No.
Yeah.
So, no, it's...
Which one broke... Was it James? James broke his arm during the filming?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
James broke his arm. Because he came out of a restaurant and he's not very good on what he calls slippy surfaces.
Wow.
You know, we call him a little old lady sometimes, and he took what a little old lady would call a tumble.
He tumbled.
So he had a tumble and he broke his arm, and that was the day before the very first shoot in France.
So he turned up with his arm in a sling?
Well, he said he wasn't going to turn up, but then we pointed out to him that he was an arse and he was going to turn up, and so he did turn up, and we found an automatic car and off he went.
So he was just driving...
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, he managed very well. He never mentioned it.
And now that we've established the close bond, did you hug him? Did you kiss it better?
No, you see, that's always... I mean, if you watch Loose Women, as one does from time to time, and somebody... Well, no, somebody falls over. It's sort of, oh, you all right? Oh, God, you want to get a glass of water, a cup of tea? If James or Richard or I fall over, the others just laugh.
Yeah.
It's just find it... Have you hurt yourself? Yeah. He fell off when Hammond fell off a horse and broke his wrist. That was hysterical. James fell off a horse and broke his ribs. Wow. That was hysterical.
Wow. Have you broken anything?
No, well, I put a clutch pedal through my ankle once. They found that very funny as I was carted off.
That wasn't deliberate. That wasn't like a piercing. I mean, that was an accident.
No, I drove a lorry through a wall, and I thought... I was driving towards the wall, and health and safety had said, you mustn't go faster than 30 miles an hour. I thought, this is going to look so slow and boring. So I went about 50 and hit the wall, and it really hurt, actually. I was surprised. These people in high-visibility jackets may have had a point.
Yeah.
And it all crumpled up, and the clutch pedal went through my leg.
Oh.
Yeah, it hurt. But I didn't make a fuss.
And did James and Richard laugh at that?
Howled.
Yeah.
Howled. But that's how you sort of... That's sort of how we roll, really. We do like it when the others get hurt.
You love them. There's a man love there.
This man love's really getting to you now, isn't it?
No, because I know you love them, and it's just weird that you don't admit it.
I enjoy working with them very much.
You love them.
I genuinely
you love
do.
them. You love them more than brothers, but less than wives.
The physical expression is perhaps less.
Yeah.
But when you're working together somebody says rap, I do love that.
OK, so Top Gear was a very, very different show when you first took over. When you were first involved in it. When was this, like 1980-something?
89,
OK, 89.
Yeah.
Very different, I mean, a totally different show. And I thought we might like to remind ourselves of what Top Gear was like way back in the day.
Oh, are you going to show me with idiotic hair? You
yes,
are. Yes,
we are. This is from 1990, so you've been doing it for a year.
Well, as far as styling is concerned, we can blame Ford for erring on the side of caution. Remember the wigging they got when they made the Sierra look like a woodlouse. This is a bit bland, but the divot down the side and the slightly flared wheel arches help liven up the profile to a certain extent. Sadly, they don't do the same for the rather anonymous front end.
There you go.
Is that over?
That's
Good.
over. It's quite something, though, isn't it? It's quite joyful.
What was good? I actually remember that. I remember that very shoot. We had a cameraman back then called John Cousins, who was a very northern bloke. Didn't say much. But when he did, it was pertinent. And I was very new to television presenting. You don't know what to do with your hands and you're very nervous. And there was one bit where I had to get into the car, close the door, and then his camera was down there, sort of in the passenger footwell, and then talk about the interior. And I got in, closed the door, and made a mess of it. I went, oh, I'm really sorry, everyone. And got out, closed the door, got in, opened the door, got in, closed the door, messed it up again, opened the door, got out, closed the door. Must have done it 14 times. And then I just heard this cameraman, this is like the second thing I ever did. I heard this cameraman turn to the sound recorders and go, well, at least we know what door works. And he made a vow there and then never to mess a piece of camera up ever again as long as I live.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, he's here all night. It's the one and only Mr. Jeremy Clarkson. Jeremy, that was great. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Still to come, I'll be joined out by Little Mix. We've got Mickey Flanagan and, as promised earlier, Robbie Williams will be doing another number for us. I'll see you after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy Clarkson is still here with me, but it's time for our next guest to join us out on the couch. They may call themselves little, but they're huge, not just here, but all around the world. Let's have a little reminder of the reason why. Little Mix! Hello. Hello, Jane. Yeah, got it. Hello, Carrie. How are you? Hello, Jessie. Hello, Lee. All right, come and sit down. There's big Jeremy Clarkson. Just sit down. Very good. So there. If this was the lineup for the band, it would be the weirdest band in the world. It really would. We just saw you. That was Shout Out, of course. That's the single. It's a big hit at the moment for you. Yeah. Congratulations. And the two of you from Newcastle.
Yes,
is that right?
Lee and Perry, South Shield.
OK, and you're from where?
We're Southerners.
Okay.
Essex, High Wycombe.
OK. So have you travelled the world much since then? Had you travelled the world before you became Little Mix? And presumably now you've been...
The furthest I'd been was Cornwall.
Yeah, Benidorm.
Well, Cornwall from Essex, that's quite a culture shock already. Yeah. That can be a challenge, can't it? So where have you been to? Where's the most interesting and exotic place you visited?
Oh, gosh. Do you know where it's amazing? Singapore. We loved it there.
Singapore, yeah, we love
so
like
incredible.
Yeah, Japan and
Yeah,
stuff
that
like
was
that.
scary, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean we've.
Why was Japan scary? How was Japan scary?
We literally experienced an earthquake.
Well, that's scary.
So me and Jessie are lying in bed, having a little moment, heart to heart, and I'm looking at her, and the bed's like doing this, and I thought she was flicking her legs around, and I'm going, babe, what are you doing? And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and she went, babe, what did she thought a man? She thought a man had came into our room and started shaking the bed. Right? I don't know why.
Because, of course, that's a more likely explanation.
So I was like, no. So I sat up and I was like, babe, we're in an earthquake. She sat up and her eyes just went, ah! And I was like, calm down, it's cool. And then the, tannoy came on and it was like, everyone please stay away from windows, go into a doorway. We're on the 27th floor, so the hotel's like this.
Yeah, literally.
Because they're built to absorb the shock, aren't they?
It was
Some random man in the
terrifying.
hall was like, please can I come in your room? I was like, OK, come in, like,
Leanne was
He's the bed shaker. He wanted to come in. Give you some of that.
Snapchatting the photo, like getting a nice photo on Snapchat, like,
She's
oh my God, we're in an earthquake.
Yeah.
I have to document it, obviously.
So now, Japan was scary. Would you go back there? Do you like it? Did you...
we loved it.
Yeah,
So you liked it enough?
Yeah,
Okay.
our fans are
Do you
incredible.
pick up any of the language when you go to places?
Yeah.
We do.
We actually know a little bit of wings in
We do.
Japanese.
Yeah, we can sing in Japanese.
OK, well, this is going to be interesting. So let's hear, how do you... Which,
I mean, it's a bit low down in flames, but we'll give it a go.
I'll try to
Right,
remember.
we'll give it a go.
And you go, OK. Okay.
You've got the key.
you want me to count you in Japanese?
If you want.
Right.
Ichi, ni, san, shi.
Ooh.
話しても傷つけない世界場所からじゃないと見ることできない世界一緒に見たくない
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. Well, that's a big market because you've got some of the biggest kind of groups of girl bands and boy bands. They're like Korean and Japanese. They have some of them have like 16, 17 members, don't they?
Yeah.
So you've got a book out. This is the book, Little Mix, Our World. Kind of, I guess, for Christmas, for people to get for Christmas. That's the idea. It's quite revealing. I'm surprised how open you are. And you talk about, obviously it's fun, but you also talk about kind of real issues you've had in your past and real concerns. How tough was it for you sharing that kind of thing with people?
Yeah, it was quite tough. It was kind of like therapy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like we sat down with someone, like we said all our experiences, like growing up and stuff. And I like that, obviously, the pop star life is very glitzy and glamorous, but I like that this time we kind of were very honest and said things that we wouldn't usually talk about. And yeah, I think it was nice to show the fans that, and obviously put little quirky things in there and fun facts and all that.
Well, especially
stuff.
if you've got young kids who are reading this and they're going through stuff and they might look at you and think, oh, they have this, they're this sort of blessed life and they're so lucky. But to show them that you have had similar difficulties, that's something. Well, without wishing to depress or upset you, what were the things individually that you found hardest to put in here?
Oh, I think probably in the way that we feel about ourselves. Like, especially in the beginning, we did get a lot of, like, stick.
You mean like body image? You mean like being self-conscious? Not your voices or your abilities there, but just the way you're looked at, the way you feel you present to the world.
I think there's a lot of pressure, especially for young girls, to look a certain way. And when we went on X Factor, I mean, we didn't look that great. And, yeah, we got a lot of stick for it.
Well, you're
and it was
unpolished,
hard.
obviously. You're unpolished.
Yeah. And obviously, we'd just been thrown into this whole experience, so we'd never experienced anything like this. And, yeah, it was just a bit of a shock to the system. And, I mean, we still get it now, but I think we've grown a thick skin now, haven't we, to it all. But, yeah, it is hard, like, especially when you're so young and you're not used to people just being able to comment on what you look like and just being able to see it in front of your face. It's hard.
Well, you know, Jeremy has suffered with his body image for years. Which is why he's now hidden that body under a protective layer of fat.
I've wept myself to sleep many times.
Yeah. But then James comes in and gives him a cuddle and it's all fine. Hey, what were you like when you... Did you have anything like this confidence when you were their age?
I was just listening. It's fantastic to listen to you. And all that stuff about, you know, body consciousness, I think is an actually very important message. My daughter runs a blog on that exact subject. Yeah. Because a lot of... this girl bullying is one of the most horrific things, which I've been unaware of. Until quite recently. You just... Not because I'm a girl and I get bullied, but I had no idea just how vitriolic you lot are when you're 14, 15. You know, really unkind to one another. So it's, the more that you shout that out from the rooftops, the better it is, I think.
Definitely. Thank you. Yeah.
That's a nice thing. Thank you, Joe. You see, you can share his emotions. He can be...
Thank you.
Don't tell anyone, but he's probably quite a nice guy. You know of the band... Jeremy's a big fan of the band Genesis. Do you know Genesis?
Focus. The Who.
The Who?
Yeah.
Do you dance when you're out, Jeremy?
No.
Why?
Because I'm very old and fat.
But you never did...
And because my stomach has become so enormous that these days it's actually quite difficult maintaining an upright... I mean, just being upright. I can't even do my shoelaces. No,
yes.
I am.
No, you're not at all.
Girls,
I was made on a Friday night.
He is. I mean, you're being super kind. Look, I've been fat. I'm not as fat as I was. We both be, you know, men go up and everyone goes up and down.
Yeah.
But I know what it's like when you get that big. You can't. You have to cast your socks. Yeah. It's like you're putting a fishing rod. You've got to do that
That's it. You can't get your knee near it, so you can't. I've got quite long arms, but I can't reach to get my pants on.
Two-step, no? You could do a little two-step.
Or a little...
No, I can't. No.
Jeremy, have you ever twerked?
No.
I think we should...
What do you like? Could you teach Jeremy to twerk?
Leanne, do the honours.
Jeremy, come on, live a little. This is it. This is
So, is this really appropriate?
It's a...
Yes.
I'm 56 years old.
I think this could be a useful tool in your dance arsenal.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a Christmas is coming up.
What is it?
Come on.
What is it?
Bum thing.
Get that juicy bum
This
up
is a
there.
dance move popularised by
Right,
the
come on,
young
I'm not gonna
artiste.
do it on my own.
Miley Cyrus was very well known. Who else is the big twerker? Does Rihanna twerk?
Yes,
Yeah.
So Miley
Nicki
twerks.
Minaj.
Nicki Minaj, you know Nicki Minaj, she twerks.
Does anybody want to twerk?
I'm only going to do this if you're going to
Yeah,
do it with me.
you
yeah?
And Jeremy-
literally don't know what you're talking about.
Jeremy, you
Right,
have to...
You shut up.
No,
You've got to be in this position.
you have to...
Come up and twerk
Because
as well.
because I'm a man. I've got a bad hip. Hold it, son.
Right,
Go on.
assume position.
Jeremy, no, not behind her. Come in here because that isn't the game we're playing. The side by side.
Yeah, hopefully no one will me, it'll be great.
Yeah, I know what you were.
Assume position.
I'll do it for me. I'll do it for me. My knees hurt now. Do your knees hurt? My knees hurt now.
I'm impressed.
I'm really impressed.
Well, you know what? When you're next playing, if you need a couple of hot backing dancers... I don't know what you do me, but I'm genuinely exhausted now. I mean, we twerked for 30 seconds. How long can you twerk for?
Oh, no, well, you don't have to do it that long. I feel a bit
No.
weird now.
Yeah, but you were
after.
throwing in some freestyle stuff
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I was freestyling, you're right. Really nice to have you here. What, you know,
you.
one thing I was going to talk about, there was a clip I became slightly obsessed with on the internet. That you guys playing a board game.
Yes.
Now, what was the game you were playing?
It was the accent challenge.
It's like a accentuate one of those games where you have to do accents. Has anyone seen
Yeah.
Dear.
that? Okay, and it is one of the weirdest and funniest things. Now, Jessie, you were asked to do a Jamaican accent.
I was.
Okay, well, we should let people see what you came out
let's
with,
do it.
and then perhaps you can explain what you were thinking.
Okay.
Okay.
But
go.
what I especially like about this is there's a sort of pause for thinking, and then you act as if, yes, you've got it,
Yeah.
and then this thing comes out, and I've watched this, I'll be honest with you, about 500 or 600 times. Today. Okay, here you go.
Hi, we're Little Mix, and we've just had a Skype text from Eugen. Let's have a little check and see what it says. It says, "Hi girls, today you're going to play the accent challenge. You have to take it in turns to do an accent from the box, and everyone else has to guess." Oh. What are you... Oh,
Was that the accent?
Liana's just come back from the airline. Jamaica!
Wow.
It's that bit. So you do the end part, the accent's pretty good.
Yeah.
But what's that bit? Let's play that tiny bit again. What are you actually saying? I don't even know what this word is. What's that bit? That little bit? What's that bit? I want that one. What is it again? So it's Baliete? What?
It's right, basically, when we've had no sleep, which is pretty much every day,
Yeah.
we get delirious.
Yeah.
And we have this thing of when we don't know what to say and when we can't think of a thing, we'll say that. I don't know where it's come
But
from.
what is it you're actually saying?
Just
Or if it's not that, it'll be like... or like something.
So, I see. So that was like
Yeah.
you saying, I'm clearing myself mentally
Yes.
to prepare you
To
for the
prepare
Jamaican
myself for
accent
the
to come.
Jamaican accent.
That
Yes.
wasn't you doing the Jamaican accent.
No.
see.
But listen, someone cut off the Jamaican accent and said that was my Jamaican accent.
It literally went viral.
It went
yeah.
everywhere.
Fan just decided to take that little noise
Yeah, a little
and make
vine.
it something.
Well, I think we have that. I think we have that, the kind of musical thing.
Oh, stop!
Let's have a quick look at that. I mean, I think this should be your next single, I'll be honest
Go
with
on
you.
then.
That's just joyful. Okay, so the book is out now, and the album, what's the album called again?
Glory Days.
Glory Days, that's out on Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Little Mix. Thank you, James. That was great. That was fun. Thank you. Okay, still to come, we'll be joined out by Nicky Flanagan and Robbie Williams performing live in the studio. See you after the break. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Little Mix is still here, Jeremy Clarkson's still here, but let's get my next guest out. And when I say let's get him out, I mean out, not out. It's the very funny Mickey Flanagan. We're not afraid of emotion. Look at this, Clarkson. Look at this, Clarkson. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Hello. That's it. Loosen up, Clarkson.
Hello. Hello. Oh, you've got lovely soft skin.
Oh, Jesus.
You got one again.
Where you go? Oh. That's such an...
Oh, fantastic.
That's such an Essex boy.
go
Look,
on
Mickey.
again.
OK. Exciting news, don't just have you back, because you disappeared, Mickey. Where did you go? About a year and a half ago, you were everywhere. I saw in a lot of shows. I always enjoyed seeing your TV. Then, boom, no Mickey. What happened?
Think about what I'm going to say. Is that right?
You're going to do it, do it.
So why did you leave performing? You just
Because
weren't
I
around...
made so much money.
Yeah.
I thought, why not have some time off?
Was this the
Which is
truth?
what
This
you're
is
supposed
kind of
to
what it
do.
was?
Yeah, no, because we had a lot of success, and then I decided to have a break.
Well, that's kind of remarkable, because you never hear anyone saying that, and no one else seems to have the presence of mind to say, OK, I've done well, now enjoy it for a while. Yeah. So you're back now. You broke again? Is that what's happening?
No, you know, you sort of wake up in the morning and you think, 9 o'clock, too early.
Yeah, that's a nice feeling.
You go back to sleep for an hour, then you wake up again and you think, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do next? And then your brain goes, have a year off.
Wow.
And you go, good idea, brain.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. Where did you get that one from?
But once you decided to take the year off, when you woke up at 9, you had nothing you needed to do.
No.
I mean, you've got a son, haven't you?
I've got a son.
So you had to maybe did you spend more time looking after him than you had previously?
Yeah, I mean that was a big part of it.
Yeah.
Sort of,
How old is he?
missed
How old
a
is he
lot
now?
of stuff. He's 34.
Okay. But he's still your little boy. He's still your little
I was
special.
shaving him, taking him to work, you know, helping him with his financial...
Waxing his back before a big night out, yeah.
No, he's 10 years old, so it was great to spend some time with him, taking him to the football.
So that was a factor then,
Yeah. But mostly, it was because I am inherently lazy, and I just love just walking around.
Doing nothing?
Yeah.
Pottering?
But the hard part was sort of selling it to my wife, because she loves me a lot.
Now, your wife works, does she?
Yeah. She's got her own interior design business.
So she's working, so she doesn't want to just think of you sitting around doing nothing, because you get up to no good.
Well...
You drink, you gamble, what were you doing?
Not gamble. No, I don't gamble, but I do drink a lot. And so it's sort of killing time on the way to the pub. So you find various activities.
So the big part of
staring into building sites is a good one. There's a good hour there.
Yeah,
you know that little window they put?
Yes.
You just look in.
Yeah.
And the builder's like, you all right, mate? And you're like, yeah, I'm all right. Those footings are going in beautiful, aren't they? Where are you going? Tea break. Car. I'll see you tomorrow. Just kill time. It's a real...
But when you were killing time, presumably you were watching a lot more TV than you did back when you were in gainful employment.
Yeah, we have... I love the telly. Yeah. You know, people sort of go, oh, you know when you meet people and say, oh, I haven't got a telly, and you think, oh, that's us finished then. Yeah. You nutter.
It does seem strange, doesn't it?
Yeah, so they sort of are proud of it. I haven't got a TV. My life is so full of activities. You know, you go, no, you're just mental.
Yeah. OK, so now the exciting news is, and I'm pleased you're back, and the exciting news is you're touring again. You haven't announced this yet, I don't think, or is this out there yet?
This is, I'm telling you, for the first time.
OK, so this is the first time, so you're going on tour.
Yeah,
when is
I'm going back out on tour. It's going to start in May.
May next year?
May the 3rd, something like that.
But, Mickey, how's it going to be for you, going from waking up and basically doing whatever you wanted all day until you hit the pub, But now you've got to be there at a certain time and be on stage for almost every night of the week, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm the modern professional, though, aren't I? I know how to carve my life up and say, that's that time.
Yeah.
This is this time. This is when I'm going to be funny tonight. You're going to, you know, and this is when I'm down the pub having a burger and a pint, reading the paper.
Is there not a danger you're going to miss it, though? Because you obviously... It sounded like you fell in love with that very relaxed lifestyle. Which I can understand.
Yeah, but I think all people do, don't they? Who wants to go work all the time?
Yeah.
When did this get put around?
Well, Little Mix have worked solidly for 5 years now.
I know, and I did it for 17.
Oh, all right, show off.
Yeah. 17 years on the road as a stand-up comic. Yeah. And then I just thought, well, I've reached the top. I'm probably the best comic in the world. And so give the others a chance, Mick, I thought. You know, because I'm a giver.
Well, it's nice. That's generous of you.
My life's given.
Was there a period when you're off when you actually did think, though, maybe I won't go back?
No, I always knew I'd go back.
Yeah.
Because you do, it's in you. If it's in you,
yeah.
You know, because my wife sort of says to me, you know, it's so much who you are, this sort of person who has to be funny all the time, that if you don't do it there, I'm going to have to deal with it a lot of the time, and I don't want to.
Yeah. So do you inflict it on her when you haven't got an audience? Do you inflict the gags on her at home?
My wife's not got a great sense of humour, to be honest with you. I said to her last year, I said to her, oh, yeah, I've been asked to do panto. So she said, oh, I don't think you'd enjoy that, babe. And I went, oh, yes, I would. And she went, no, I don't think you'd enjoy it very much.
So what else do you do with your time off? Now, you have a...
Well, I went and got a dog.
So you have a dog?
Yeah, this has been a major revelation for me. For years, I used to look at people with a dog when you know they're picking up the shit.
Let me just check. Is that just any dog, or is that actually
That's
Mickey's
my little
dog?
Willow.
That's
there,
your dog. Willow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
She's a status dog. Obviously, living in South East London, you have to have a dog that terrifies people.
Yeah.
So I went and got her.
She's at what breed is it?
Cockapoo.
A cockapoo.
So cute.
It's a cocker spaniel and a poodle.
Yeah.
The most loving, happy, playful dog. And it's like the dog came into the house and looked at us all and went, right, OK, the big one thinks he's in charge. The smaller one is in charge. The little one has no power. However, the big one thinks the little one is more important. I'm going to target this one. So she threw all her love at me, and now me and the dog are so in love that it's got... Because when we got the dog, we said, right, OK, these are the rules. It doesn't go on the sofa, it doesn't bark at the door, it doesn't beg at the table. All these rules...
You were going to be firm with this animal.
I was going to be very firm. Yeah. Cut to a year later, the dog now sleeps with me on the bed. On my pillow. And often I'll be lying there, and I feel a little hot breath on my face. And I wake up and she's staring at me. Oh. And I'm sure she's looking at me as much to say, why don't we fuck her off? Me and you could have a lovely life together.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Yeah.
We could move to Whitstable.
Yeah. Mickey, you know what? We're going to take a break, but when we come back, before Robbie Williams comes out, I was thinking we've got one of the greatest petrol heads in the country here. We should maybe, in honour of Jeremy, we should maybe have a race of sorts.
Oh. Yes.
Would you care to see us having a race in some peculiar... Yeah. OK. Are you up for this, Mickey?
Yeah.
OK, we'll do this after the break. But for now, will you join me in saying thank you to Mr Mickey Flanagan, ladies and gentlemen. So don't go away. After the break, we'll be having that race, and Robbie Williams will be here. See you in a couple of minutes. OK, everyone, so welcome back. We have put everyone on the finest electrical vehicles available. Big selection. They all go roughly the same speed, so this is down to individual driver skill. To the winner, the glory. To the losers, the sit back down on the couch. Are you ready, guys?
Yeah.
And remember, safety first, OK? Yeah. Carlton. Mickey, you're loving that.
I made it work at the last moment.
Who won? Here you go to the winner of the cup. Congratulations. Go and sit down. Leave the vehicle. He's come back over the couch. Go on, where are you going? He's off.
Wow.
Okay. Where's Robbie? We lost Robbie. Mickey, come on.
I made it work.
There you go.
Do I get to keep this, Jonathan?
Leanne, road to victory. You get to keep it.
Yeah!
Yeah, there you go. OK, congratulations to everyone. Commiserations to everyone else. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to all my guests tonight. Thank you, Mickey. Thank you, Little Miss. Thank you, Jeremy Carlton. And thank you, Robbie Williams, who's going to perform again for us now. Robbie, head on over there. We'll get ready for our song. This is the last show in our current series. We'll be back with a Christmas fest in December with David Walliams, Miranda Hart, Kylie Minogue, Paul Hollywood and Keira Knightley. But in the meantime, have a better way to end the programme than with Robbie Williams performing Sensational!